I mean, obviously a tough way to go out. You know, I thought we were, I thought this group they learned how to be tough. I thought we were tough till the end. Um, I think, you got to get to 51 to win. I mean, if you give up 50, you got to think you're going to win. And today, and that's a credit to them. They're a really good defensive team. And but I also know we played well enough on that end of the floor to win the game, and we got to come up with a little better offense at some point. So that's probably really the story. Is I think we were tough enough to win. I thought we hung in there when they got us in a bad way. And then, obviously they made one big play that we didn't make.
Coach, you look at that final minute and you're up 3 and trying to get the best shot possible. And it seemed like they did a really good job of taking Sav away and denying her the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best on-ball defender in the league against a really good offensive player too. I mean, I don't know where – I know that I'm glad that 4 plays for us. And I think it's a compliment to Sav that she got to 17, because there's some that would have Kiana Walker on them and couldn't get to 17 because she's a heck of a player. Lightning quick, strong, and smart. I mean, like she understands where the ball's trying to go. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously a little bit better defense in the moments where it mattered. And yet I think we're going to go back, and we were probably maybe a little open a couple other times, but maybe it wasn't Sav. And, we've got to develop confidence in some other ones that will stick it, because we've got other capable players,
I got to ask it just because we don't know what's going on, at the end of the third quarter, there's a stoppage here and they don't make any announcement to us because we're so far away from the play. What happened with the intentional foul? Because those 2 points ended up pretty big.
They called a trip on Alexis at half court, at half court. So that was the call, was behind the play, little tussle, and they felt like it was intentional, and that's what happens.
Coach, the ending, the inbound pass to Tay, was that how you scripted it up? Was it supposed to go to her, or was she not the first option on the play?
Well, I mean, in a play like that, you've got to have a lot of different things. And, I think to go back 2 questions to Grant's about, what are they going to do? We're trying to free Sav every play we can. I mean, she's that kind of offensive player. And yet you've got to have multiple options. And I'm just fine that it ended up in Taylor Pearson's hands. I mean, she didn't make it, but those are always hard shots. I still don't know how they made theirs, honestly. I mean, but they did. And, Tay's tough enough to handle the fact that she didn't get it done tonight. And that's kind of what makes her special, is she wouldn't bat. If we would have gotten lucky enough to play tomorrow, she wouldn't have batted an eye about that same situation, and she would have had the confidence to go at it again. So, we really put Kennedy, who had a good game and is playing well for us and is a very important piece moving forward. We put Kennedy, Tay, and Sav in a little triangle game, and one of them was going to end up open, and it was Tay, and she had 2.5 seconds to get it to the rim, and it is what it is. It wasn't our day.
You look at the first quarter and come out, hit 4 threes. Offense looks like it's flowing really well. You get Sav and Kennedy going. What was it in the second and third quarter that changed? Was it more La Tech's defense, or was it a difference in something y'all were doing?
I credit them. I know they're a good defensive team. I think that's kind of a question that sometimes I don't know until I go back and watch it. I think that I do think we have offensive confidence up and downs. And, I think, it doesn't help not having Kristen Mayo. I mean, I will tell you that. I mean, she had 22 in here last year. She had her career high. She's really good. But they were without a really good player too. So, but I mean, I think we've withstood some haymakers like that and tried to fill gaps. And I think this group has proven to me, that I think teams are more resilient about that stuff, but we need a little bit more offense. I mean, we just needed a couple others out there that had the confidence that they could make the plays to win the game. And, I think a healthy Kristen, I think is another option, and I think Kennedy is growing into that role. But Kennedy's really capable on the perimeter, but she kind of got so desensitized to playing out there that we're trying to kind of free her up. And, I thought at times, she did that really, really well. And at times I think she's trying to ram it to the rim a little bit too much, but I think for the most part, they can put us in bad spots, and they did that a little bit in those 2 quarters. And, we probably just didn't have enough step up, so to speak, when they're doing a good job on Sav to fill in the gap.
Coach, I remember on Tuesday, I kind of asked Savannah about like the shooting dynamics in the start. Do you think that had anything to do with today's game? Because you guys only shot 31% from the field.
No, I think that's a really good. I mean, I think if you would have, asked Coach Storr and myself how this game was going to go, I think we would have told you it's just going to be just a fist fight, which is basically what it was. It was hard at the rim, not a lot. I think they called it fairly similar on both ends, but it was very tough to get the ball to the basket. It was very tough to score in the paint. I thought Roberson was really good. The first 2 games we played her, we did a nice job on her. She was really good tonight and strong, tough. She got the ball to the basket and made a lot of key shots. But I thought it would be something like that. I thought it would be low scoring. I'm not sure I thought it would be that low scoring, but I thought it would be around the probably high 50s, low 60s. And I thought it would be close. It was. I thought it would be 40 minutes. It was. I just sad it wasn't us at the end. That felt good,
How difficult is it whenever your defense doesn't allow a point, I think, in almost 8 minutes? I think it was around 750, and yet you look during that stretch, and I think you all only yourself had, 2 or 4 points. Does that mentally get to you whenever – do you feel like it gets to players when you're going into halftime, you're up 3 and you've worked that hard defensively?
Maybe. I mean, I think that's a little bit what I'm saying. I think that is I think the frustration builds a little bit about not being able to blow that open. And I think we had some chances to do that, and we just couldn't get it done. I thought we had, a bunch of like run out one-on-one type stuff at the rim that we just didn't get any kind of shot on the goal that had a chance to go in. And, that's obviously an area we've got to improve in. I think they're very good at that. I mean, you look at 2, you look at 10, boy, they made some athletic plays at the rim. But I think that's kind of what I was talking about earlier about the confidence thing. I think it did wane, but I also know that where we've grown as a team is it didn't drop on the other end of the floor. I think in years past, and I think that steadily builds. I think this is the toughest. I think this is probably the closest that we've been to kind of being blue collar and fighters and things like that consistently. And I thought we really grew into that, especially kind of once we finally got through all the ins and outs and we got our team together, started practicing stuff. This was a very good defensive team. And that's not a fluke. I mean, if you look at the last 6 or 7 games, good offensive teams did not score on us. We just couldn't consistently put enough offense together to really take off.
Coach, what'd you tell them in the locker room?
No, thanks. I mean, I think I know that the kind of people that the 2 seniors are, Kristen and Tay, are exactly the kind of people that we want in our program, getting a degree from Marshall. I think they'll both probably, 15 years from now be really successful because of who they are. I think they're really good people for our freshmen to look at and watch. And they don't get it right every day, but over time, they're right a lot with how they carry themselves. So I think that was really the message was learn. I hope, learn, and I hope you learned from the two that are walking out of here. And they need to remember how it feels, and we've got to find a way when we get back in this situation next year.
Just looking, I know that you haven't had time to really take on all this, but just looking back at this year, I mean, the end almost seems befitting of everything that you all went through this year. I mean, every time it seemed like you all took a step, there was a roadblock there. Just whether it was COVID or injuries or something like that. In terms of coaching, how difficult has this year been, just with everything encompassing?
I think it was hard. It was hard, but everybody's got a job that does hard things, so I get to, coach basketball. I know a lot of people worked really hard to get us here. And I thought our kids showed them that they wanted to be here, So it was tough, but I think overall, I do think they learned that they could get through things. I mean, I think that the group in our locker room, they're tougher now for life purposes and basketball purposes too. And I think anybody that's been through, the last 12 months is that way if they're looking at things kind of with the right perspective. Like all these things that, we never thought we'd go through, we just did, and it kind of feels like we're moving in a good place with that stuff. And, so I think you're right. It was hard, but it's been hard on a lot of programs, and it's been hard on a lot of people. And it feels like a long time ago that we got started. I think our players feel like they played a season. I don't think they feel, extremely cheated. And I think Kristen's Kristen had a tough go of it. She just did. And I wish it wasn't that, but I don't think Tay's walking out of here feeling like she didn't have her shot, and she's going to go on to pretty big things, and she's excited about that. And this will hurt for a while, and it hurts for all of us, but they'll move on. And I think they'll take a lot of really good memories from some of the things that they got done. That Rice win, that was a heck of a win for us. Middle Tennessee, that's a heck of a win. Like we put together some good weeks, and yet I think they all understood that it was on for us to win today, and we knew we didn't have a large margin for error. We needed a basket, and we didn't get it, Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys coming all year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach.